Okay. These warriors are going to shuffle a little bit.
Okay, everybody, looks like we're back up. Not entirely sure what happened there. I think that was a server side drop on.
That's why it's showing. I think so. It's just
the multi-stream that we're using.
To the rock here, but I don't know, Trey. Have you got? We'll see. What happens with this collider? Is it meant to be like the box, or meant to follow the rock?
I think there's actually another one you might be streaming. To follow
the box is for movement, and the rock is just for line of sight. So
okay, right.
Yeah, you can move up
so
to
the box. The box is correct.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I'll run that if I need to do all this. All right, and that's it for my movement. Over to psychic phase. I'm gonna start with prisoner of rope here.
Looks like some issues on the YouTube side. I apologize, everybody, for the
goes off.
For the issues.
2. Okay, 6 will feel the pains.
Then he's going to cast Symbiostorm on this Exocrine here.
Sure.
Sorry, did I just roll those double ones?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to use the CP and re-roll it. Nope, that fails. Okay, then this North Rope here is going to cast Catalyst on my Swarm Lord.
Yeah.
Goes off. Then he's going to cast Smite on the Raptor.
Yeah.
That fails.
Okay.
Perils 3. It's 3 wounds. 2. Okay. Swarm Lord is going to cast Onslaught. That fails, I believe. 6, that fails. Okay, then he's going to cast Psychic Scream. Okay, that goes off on that same Raptor.
Yeah.
3, 2.
6s. Okay, I take 1.
Okay. And over to shooting phase. All right, I'm gonna use the 2 CP to give my Sexocrine +1 wound, +1 damage.
Yep.
So let's start with that. He's going to shoot into the balustrade right there.
Yeah.
Gonna do it. You can shoot twice, but I'm gonna do it one shot at a time. All right, I'll take that at least. And then 3s to wound. Okay, good roll.
See, the dice is going really slow. Okay, so save 2.
They can. Yeah.
So these are 3 damage each?
Yep.
Okay, so the first one. I rolled any 6s?
Yeah, you rolled a 6. Yep. You rolled a
Okay.
6.
And then I won't bother rolling the rest. I'll just kill one. So
Okay.
did it explode? Did I roll 6?
Nope, you rolled a 4.
Okay, cool. So it doesn't really matter which one I remove, so I'll just go ahead and remove that.
And then you have one more 3 damage.
Oh yeah, 'cause I was thinking it was flat. I will actually roll it then. Sorry, just in case. No, he think.
Almost.
And then the next guy. Okay, so he takes 3. I get you.
Yep. All right. So, gonna shoot at that same unit again with the second set of shooting. Reroll the 1. 3s. Okay, 3 this time.
No, they get 3. So first one kills him. Second one. Third one. Okay, so he's alive on a wound. Someone explode? No. He's on 1.
Okay. Then this exocrine here is going to shoot into that same unit of ballistary. He counts as having double the wound, so he's not degraded.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's horrible. All right. Wound.
He's saved.
Okay, and shoot there again. Why not? Okay, 4.
Save 1. That's 2 damage each.
These are just 2.
Okay, so I'll just go. First one kills him, and then 4 damage on the next guy. No, and does the first one explode? No.
You just rolled a 4. Yeah.
Yeah. He's down to
2. My unit of 2 Hive Guard are gonna shoot into that last ballistary there.
Uh-huh.
You can get 5 left. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, hitting on 4s. They moved. 3s. 2 wounds.
Nope. Damage.
2.
He dies. Doesn't matter. Explosion.
All right, I think we're back up and stable, everybody. Just going through and fixing all of our streams. Not sure what happened there with the crash. It looked like it was on the end of our streaming service, but should be okay for now. We are using one site to multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch, and it looks like that went down momentarily, so that's why we lost everywhere.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot into that wounded spider raptor there.
But we're getting off to the races on our second table here. I'm gonna shift over there real quick.
All the shots.
Oop, if it'll let me, there we go. And we are looking at the deployment here, just getting right down to it. Looks like Magnus and the airplane have deployed right across from each other, staring each other straight down. And we're just about ready to roll to go first. It's a long deployment step, but that's it is Valdor, so that's mostly to be expected. And it looks like he's just placing his last couple models. So we should be getting up and running relatively soon here. The streams are just going to be going. The vines are just going to be the stream chat, so they're not. There's not going to be a different file for them. Looks like we're just deciding where to put this librarian. I think just projecting his deny bubble as far forward as possible, probably. Gotta make a decision here, Valdor. I'm gonna hop over to the voice channel for these players real quick and get a listen in what they're talking about.
But I don't want you to fight wall. I guess I don't want you to charge the library.
I think there is going to be maybe a slight delay on the voice chat for everybody,
But
just
I
thanks
do
to
need
the
to
multi-camera,
be-
but
Oh no, I'm fast though.
will be I do apologize
won't
for
be
that,
able to
but
see straight
if
off
this
into your-
Tyranid game goes
Magnus.
short, which it looks like it may, we can jump into this one's
24 inch range.
table directly, and that will be reduce the lag a little bit.
It's only Magnus who we're gonna get charged by. If he goes here, another 60. Go to this side of the wall and charge once.
Who's everybody
That's
rooting
fine.
for in this Iron Hands game?
He
It's
charges
Iron
that,
Hands
he's not
versus
charging
Tzeentch.
the plane.
Who's on the side of Magnus versus the Space Marines?
Yeah, okay, we'll go with this. No more futzing. We're just gonna go.
Cool.
Alright.
All right.
Where did my special dice go that Trevi hates? I got a 5.
Oof.
Oh, I have to
Roll to go first. Valdor wins it. Dude
All right, man.
continues
Good
his streak
Good luck.
of never being able to go first on
clock.
stream.
Okay.
Command
so I'm gonna
phase.
do my
Oh
redeploy
yeah,
real
sorry.
quick.
Oh yeah, so let me swap the clock over to you.
Sure. So I can do 3 units.
So here comes the duplicitous tactician
Guys,
redeploy. So we're
here.
going to pull those Thousand Suns right back. Now, unfortunately, they do have to go back to the deployment zone, so I imagine they just go behind this wall. I think I would have liked to have seen, I guess
Let me get rid of these.
the Raptor probably can't afford to push out too far
Oh, let me also click start game.
into
Yeah,
the Thousand Suns deployment zone, because that will lead to its untimely demise at the hands of Magnus the Red.
So the Raptor goes.
We also have a 4+ deny strat on the Iron Hand side as well, which is kind of going to sink this one a little bit for him.
The nature of the fire.
Because Magnus is going to have trouble confirming warp time, although he can
that
get it off
guy.
Aramon, who can potentially be far away. But these infiltrators are.
When you're
gonna be
done, just let me
projecting
know
that-
and flip the
that
clock
bubble
back to
pretty
me.
far up.
Yeah.
There are some tricksiness you can do. You can try to get Magnus up there. If you can get line of sight, he can smite away the units that are, or you smite and his powers to remove the units that are projecting that 4+ reroll, and then go into warp time. But it is a little awkward to get in to get the combo off.
Okay. That'll work. Then I'll pass it.
Just over here on our main table, the Mechanicus are going into their turn 2. They did score a 15-point primary for holding the center objective. And it looks like we only knocked one unit of Ballastarii off the table, so all of the planes are going to be continuing to run rampant. One plane is off the table in reserve, but none of the other ones are dead. One of them down to mid-bracket. So this looks like it'll be curtains for Tyranids pretty quickly here.
So if we go to the other side of the wall, we're shooting 5 shots in the room with no HP. That seems bad. We're just gonna hang out. These assault intercessors will move up.
So we've got the clock running here. We have
Okay,
spoken a little bit on Valdor's kind of journey of time management. He has, I think he has identified one of his biggest weaknesses is his time management. But in his last game, we saw that he was able to sort of an almost perfect amount of time to complete the game within 90 minutes,
9-inch charge, yeah.
which was very impressive.
These Blade Guard veterans will advance.
So a lot of practice and preparation for Valdor paying off, I think, so far. We'll see how much damage he can do to Magnus in this early stage of the game. I wonder if the plan is just to sort of keep the Raptor maybe hovered in the back of the table. He can use the Infiltrator auras and his screens to prevent a unit from getting a Sorcerer's Facade out onto them. Onto the Raptor with the Infernal Fusillade, which could potentially take it out with some good rolls. And just continue to peck at Magnus with those big 36 and 48-inch range guns on the gunship. This is going to be an exciting matchup for sure. I'm really not sure which way it's going to go. I guess it depends a lot on how much damage Valdor can do to Magnus before he has his buffs, his defensive buffs up.
How are we going to do this? Pull the tank back and leave enough room for the Dreadnought to get, but leave it on the objective. And Magnus is so big, you can see Magnus from wherever the hell he wants. So that's
Yep.
And then we're gonna move this Dreadnought.
I think as long as you have
It has a
range,
Cubit
you can
Collider.
also... Yeah, you're good.
3, and then 2 is 5, and then 3 more. And we should have range to Magnus with the 30-inch gun. Yes, but not the 24. So that's what I thought. Okay, that's fine. Tech Marine will move over here.
Yeah, it looks like we're just going to dump as much as we can into
buffs.
Magnus on this first turn.
Lieutenant.
Get rid of that guy.
move up here
Unfortunate for Dudes.
to give these guys.
I think he sort of drew the short end of the map pool
playing
in the elimination
Librarian
rounds for a list
Magnus.
playing Magnus. The map pools were made public to the players beforehand, but what was not was the order in which they'd be played. And we drew essentially a couple of maps that did not have solid, like, large line of sight blockers on them in the first half of the event, which means that Magnus is pretty exposed. It's not a big deal if he's able to go first and get his defensive buffs going, but unfortunately for him, that's not the case this game. This would be a game where I think potentially reserving Magnus would have been interesting, because it's going to be difficult for the Iron Hands to sort of screen out the entirety of the table. They can screen out a lot, and especially a lot of the way to Magnus's deployment zone, but I don't think enough to stop him from doing too much when he comes in on turn 2. That said, I do think that Dudes would like to have the to have this big counterpunch unit that can stop the Fire Raptor from just running around the table and shooting at all this stuff.
Was that what it's called? The teleport?
Yeah, facade. Sorceress facade.
So, these guys come back up. Yeah, I think we'll just leave these guys in the back to screen.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just spread them out.
Yeah, so it looks like Valdor making good use of the MSU style of Space Marines to screen pretty effectively. He has the infiltrators up in the front
Fine.
on Objective 3, and also he has a second
those
layer
guys
of
spread
them
out,
in
so
front
now
of the
just
Fire
play
Raptor,
more
which I
burn.
think is an interesting play.
Alright, so, and the drop pod, of course.
So he's going to make it very difficult to get an effective Sorcerer's Facade onto the Fire Raptor,
Safest spot for the library.
because even if one unit like pushes up and gets smited to death before the Facade triggers,
I want to leave room for the drop
he's
pod.
also going to have a second unit to prevent the unit that's teleporting from getting in rapid fire range of the transport,
Can I get within 12
or of
minutes?
the gunship. Excuse me. It's not a transport.
Oh,
Is
so
it?
Magnus is
Are Fire
there.
Raptors transports? Somebody in chat will know.
No, it's not possible to do within 12 inches of Magnus. Okay.
I don't think so. I think it's just a ship with guns on it.
I think what we want to do is put the plane.
Fire Raptor.
We advance. The
Survey
librarian,
says-
we always advance the librarian because this gun sucks. 15. Okay.
It can't transport
They can
models.
make a psyker.
Yeah.
Fire Raptors
If only,
transport.
if only we had
and
weapon and
deliver
ballistic
bullets.
skill 2, like your sorcerer, but no. We have weapon skill and ballistic skill 3.
Well, they're like my captains, so they're pulling double duty.
They're the same cost as mine, though. They're strictly better than.
Well, that's no.
Space
Ooh,
Marine
this is
sorcerer.
aggressive.
But, I mean, that's okay. Because I just want to make sure this thing's not off the edge of the board.
All right. Well, just kidding. I guess multi-layers of infiltrator defense is not what we're going for here. We're just going to shove the Fire Raptor directly forward. This is very
So
aggressive.
we have the option of shooting flamers. We have the option of shooting Magnus. We have the option of shooting
I mean, I think you have to put everything into Magnus this turn.
5-man squad. Oh, we don't.
I don't know if I like this, chat.
Actually, it's not true. We can see this.
I don't know. This Fire Raptor felt like it could just stand to sit in hover mode for a while, put everything into Magnus, stay pretty far out of range. But I guess if he whiffs on Magnus, Magnus could probably get to him anyway. Although you are walking into potentially a Psychic Hood and a 4+ deny, which makes getting those powers off consistently very difficult.
that 3 inches away? Oh, yeah, it is now. Alright, we'll put him right there. And then the
Wow.
librarian.
Are we going to see these blue
Alright.
infiltrators move up
Alright,
to
so-
defend
and
it
then
against the
drop one.
facade? I guess we don't really need to defend against the facade if
so
you're just
drop
in
one.
walking distance of the rubrics.
Will you give me 9-inch bubbles around the guys and then in front of your...
It also looks like the Fire Raptor can just see that rubric squad if he wants to shoot at it. So that may be the goal.
And the,
Though I think he needs to drop Magnus as quickly as possible.
whatever those guys are in front.
This feels very aggressive. Okay, maybe looking to get some damage on him with the drop pod
Color these.
instead of just the Fire Raptor, which is fair.
I forgot this is an 18-inch bubble, not a 9-inch bubble. Yeah, there's no
Yeah, I mean, you can potentially warp time from outside the 24-inch bubble, but it's so difficult.
what I was alright.
But I guess Ahriman has a 9-inch range on warp time, so I guess Magnus plus a 4-inch base on Magnus. So you can be like 12. Magnus can be like 12-ish inches away from an Iron Hands model, and you can still get him with the warp time. It just seems like it would be tough to orient that as a board in a board that's shrinking
Sometimes I think of
very
when I
quickly.
set
But I
up,
guess we could do it if Magnus doesn't go down.
set
It depends
up,
entirely on what Valdor's final
the
position looks
guys
like.
And then the guy with the heavy bolter, it's like business in the front, party in the back. Clearly the heavy bolter is the guy having the party. It's probably more pleasant than firing a multi-melt, although I don't really know. Probably neither of them are pleasant. I like how
Yeah, I
I'm setting
don't
these
know.
up
Meltons are
with the drop pod.
They're supposed to be like microwave weapons, right? Or do I have that wrong?
Yeah, I think we're just going to be trying to drop everything into Magnus. I think what Valdor's doing here is he's giving himself the option. He was mentioning before that the intention was to get line of sight essentially to both Rubric squads, which is what he has, and the Flamers and Magnus. So depending on how... He has a heavy onslaught shooting into Magnus over here from the Dreadnought,
With this, is then you
and then he also has the 2 Devastator squads
on the objective, which is annoying. But I don't think there's any good way to prevent that. 'Cause I can't
to shoot Magnus as
put
well.
it here. Then I have the same problem.
Valdor was mentioning after his last
Oh,
game
no,
that
it's
the
entire clock on my first turn.
it seems like the yeah, he was having trouble in his first game against Alex Squires with placing his drop pod effectively because the collider is so wonky on those models
Given that
that it tends to be very difficult, and he found that the most effective way to do it was to lock the model and then use the
Having a
gizmo
plan
tool
of
to
being running
to
out of
to
time.
jam it into place essentially. Which is fair.
All these guys should range Magnus, yep.
Yeah, chat, you can only use Warp Surge on, or you can only use any Chaos Demon stratagem on models from the Chaos Demons Codex. There's a clause in there, I think they added in an FAQ, because previously you could use Chaos Demon stratagems sort of gave you, or having a Chaos Demons detachment gave you access to Chaos Demon stratagems on all sorts of random Chaos Space Marine models. And they stopped that from happening.
And it's only these things that are range Magnus. Magnus is not currently minus 1 to hit, right?
Is new bus.
Okay. That is everything in my movement phase. Okay, 13 minutes, not too bad. Did I not move anything? I think the answer is no. Psychic phase. We will attempt... Oh, oops. I need to move this plane back.
Is that right?
The plane needs to be within 12 inches of the librarian. Oh, I think actually it was. Okay. It of course has copious amounts of...
Mhm.
Alright, so I will attempt to give the plane +1 to hit.
Okay.
So Blessing of the Machine God. Going down on the
Alright,
Raptor.
perils.
Not like that, though. Ooh.
I will reroll
Bad
that.
start to the Psychic phase. With a double ones from Valdor.
Nice start.
Theirs
got a
goes
10.
a 10. That's pretty
All right,
good.
let me see if I steal your CP. Nope. And I don't have anybody in range, I don't think. Let me see this guy. Yeah, no.
Do I get a CP back? I do not. So the plane now has +1 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the thing I wanted to copy. And then now I will attempt to give something an additional armor save. Sure, we'll give the plane an extra armor save.
Mm-hmm.
Is the warps Slice Steel armor 5 or 6? I think it is 6, and the other one's 5. Slice Steel armor is 6, so that fails. That's fine.
Okay.
So we're failing
Alright.
Psi Steel, which is too bad. Fire after left undefended.
So
but
we're gonna start.
hopefully the alpha's good enough to keep it safe.
Devastators. Let's try to not be idiots about this. The first squad, the multi-multers are going to shoot Magnus. The heavy bolter is going to shoot these rubrics over here.
Okay, so is that red squad or blue squad?
We're going to start with red squad, because blue squad has better angles.
Okay.
So, and they've got the cherub. We'll give the +1 to hit to one of the guys with the multi-meltas.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to roll the multi-meltas first, and the blue dice will be +1 to hit.
Okay.
Or weapon skill 2 technically, but whatever. So 6 shots, hitting on 2s and 3s, rerolling 1s. Okay. 5 hits. And then wounding on 3s.
Mm-hmm.
4 saves on your angle.
I will CP this one. And we're good.
Okay.
Wow.
And the heavy
What
bolter
a save on Magnus there.
into the
Does that just bounce the las cannon shots? It did. Oh no. Or the multi-multi shots, excuse me.
Hit. 1 wound.
That's a big deal.
2 damage, so that just kills him. And then we will fire the Melta that's hitting on 2s into Magnus again.
Mm-hmm.
2 hits. No wounds. I sense a pattern. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing with the other squad.
Okay.
So Reds are at hitting on 3s, and blues are hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. All hits. Wounding on 3s. 4 more wounds.
Yeah.
I will reroll this 1, obviously.
Okay.
Do I get a CP back? Oh yeah, go ahead.
No.
Do I get a CP back? Yes.
Alright, so that is 9, 10, 11, 12 damage.
Yes.
So, Philippines. So I take 10.
Ooh,
Okay.
10 damage after the
And
changelings.
heavy bolter
Damage ignore.
into the
That stings.
rubric, which I think the blue line squad still has line of sight to.
Yeah.
This is a miss. Yeah, those both hit because it's strength 5. AP2.
The first round of saves went really well for Magnus, but unfortunately the second
And
one
then
failing.
shooting the
Probably
multi-melta
coming back
again
to
with the
about
cherub
average,
into Magnus, the one that's
the damage
hitting on
output of these
2s.
multi-meltas is obscene.
1 wound.
Yeah, we're good.
So what is Magnus on? Magnus is on 8. Can I afford to not shoot Magnus with things? Oh, let's run this Dreadnought first, see how much damage he picks off Magnus. So the Dreadnought's going to fire his 30-inch range gun into Magnus, and he's going to fire everything else into the Nurglings.
Okay.
I think we just
So we'll start with
Sink
his
into
30-inch
Magnus, right?
range gun.
I guess the I mean,
I
this
believe
guy's not
it's 12
gonna
shots, right?
you're not gonna kill Magnus with the Redemptor Dreadnought. And I don't
12
think you can
shots
afford
hitting
him
on
to leave him alive.
2s from the +1 and rerolling 1s.
Because the
And
game's
then
sort of a
wounding
slam
on
dunk
5
if you kill him.
rerolling 1s. So 3 wounds.
5s, right?
Oh, oops. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yep.
Yeah, you get 2 more.
Okay. And
wait,
then
4
everything
wounds.
else. Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
Do any of these other guns matter? We'll shoot all the 1 damage guns. So there's 8 with that. Are we within 12? We are not. AP doesn't matter into the Nurglings, right?
No.
And strength 5 versus strength 4 doesn't matter.
No, they'll both be wounding on 2s.
All right, so 8 from the other Gatling gun and 4 from the 2 storm bolters. So this is oh, well, I don't know if I'm rerolling, whatever. And then yeah, so 12 on your invul.
So 5
And you get
ups.
5 up, feel no pains because it's 1 damage.
So kills a base.
Okay.
Let's take this guy.
And then we'll roll the rocket pod.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take the other guy.
The one that's closer to my guys. Yeah, fair enough. 1 shot, 1 hit, 1 wound, 1 save on your invul.
Sorry, what was this from?
This is from the rocket pod. It's the only
Okay.
2 damage gun he has.
We're
You're
good.
fine. Alright. So what is Magnus down to? Magnus is down to 6.
6 wounds.
Is he a threat if he's on bottom bracket?
Yes.
One thing we have to keep in
He'll
mind
be,
as
he'll
well
be movement 12.
is
he loses 2 attacks, and then he loses 2. He loses his.
There literally anything else that I can shoot at him? I don't think so.
is the fact that charging into the Fire Raptor
no,
is
I
going to
meant
be
other
really
than
difficult, even if Magnus is alive, but he's at low wounds, because even with his fully stratted up, the Fire Raptor can Overwatch on 4s, rerolling 1s, assuming this is the first battle round, or assuming it's methodical firepowered. And it does an immense amount of damage in Overwatch. So even if you can get a flying unit to grips with it, that's not entirely
Alright, so here's what we're gonna do.
a particularly,
Put
consistent strategy.
the las cannons
Just gotta
and
make
1
3+1
set of heavy
saves.
bolters into Magnus. We're gonna put 1 set of heavy bolters into the flamers, and we're gonna put the 10 shotgun with extra AP into the rubric brain.
All right, we're splitting our fire.
Okay, that 10 shotgun is 2 damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're all 2 damage.
Yeah, they're all 2 damage, except for the last one.
Do I want to shoot the? Let me think about this. Actually, you know what? Screw the flamer. The flamers can. No, the flamers only do like 9 to the plane. I already calculated this out. Because they do D6 shots each while hitting. 6s can do mortals.
Chad, Magnus down to 6 right
Am
now.
I missing anything?
No, that's about it.
Okay.
You're T7, right?
Yeah. So they're winning on 5s. Yeah, winning on 5, 6s do mortals. Yeah, okay. We're not bottoming the flamers. So las cannons and 1 heavy bolter into Magnus. Heavy bolter and the other 10 shotgun into the rubrics back there. Because
Okay,
they're not
so I'm gonna
fearless, right?
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 1 CP to give them +1 of their invul.
Oh.
So I'm down to 2.
And they're on a
Is that-
4th invul now?
Do anything? Aren't they in cover?
So las cannons into Magnus. Oh, we do target. Do I have to stay within 6 or be within?
I'm not
6
sure
for target protocols.
I'm not sure the
I should
+1
know how
invul
target
matters.
protocols works. I do not get to use target protocols because my librarian is not within 6. That's okay. So hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. with the
Ooh,
las
good thing we
cannons,
got that blessing of the machine
4
god
hits,
off.
and
Well, that's a
then
lot of
wounding
2s to
on
hit.
3s.
And they all wound on Magnus.
That
Oh,
would've been
buddy.
delicious if you failed that power.
Hold the baby.
One goes through.
1 goes through.
I cannot re-roll it, however.
Big 6? Big 6,
6.
for the
Oh,
win?
it's
Nah,
4.
4. 6 us damage
Okay,
ignores
go.
for a changeling. All 4 go through. He's down to 2.
Okay,
We just need to
the
sink
one-
1
Okay,
heavy
one-
bolter shot in.
The 1 singular
this
heavy
be a-
bolter into Magnus.
More
12 shots.
ones.
Could this be a perfect thing?
More ones.
Ones.
A perfect allocation of firepower?
And then 5s.
Ah. Come on, buddy. Son of a bitch.
3 go through on Magnus. Yeah, that's
I feel a little bit
probably
bad.
gonna dirt him. GG, Magnus. 2 games in the Invitational so far for Magnus.
Although I feel like I
has,
shot more points at him than Alex did.
He has
but
not,
I'm not
gotten a movement phase yet.
Does strength 5 versus strength 6 matter? No, and you're on your invul no matter what, right? Because AP2 versus 3 up. So I'll just roll all these shots together. So it's 12 and 10, so it's 22 shots. And you're going to be on your invul for all of them. So 2s rerolling 1s. And then 3s. 17 saves on your invul.
Yeah, I think the problem, talking about the...
Oh, no.
Oh,
All right.
13 rubrics down? Wow.
Let me just make sure.
A little bit of boppage going on today, chat. I apologize for for what's going on
Okay.
this stream. We're excited for some interesting matchups.
I guess these assault intercessors,
But it was very much
we'll chuck a crack grenade at them. I'm not gonna
ranged,
bother with the pistol.
aircraft-based
Yeah,
alpha
you're at
strikes
range,
today
right?
going first, which is
Oh, you're right.
something
So
that
we'll
happens
shoot 2 pistols
sometimes.
at them, and they both miss. Doesn't matter. All right. This tank can shoot them, right?
Mhm.
I had this tank as a backup as well if Magnus didn't die. So that's 40 inches range. I should have shot the tank at them first, maybe. All right, so the tank's gonna shoot the Nurgling swarms.
Okay.
Get 6 shots. Was that 6? No,
Yeah, I
that's
think
7.
this
don't
is
think
very
it's
similar
possible
to
to
the
do my
last game
first
that we
turn
saw
in less
Dudes
than
play. I
30
think in
minutes.
that
We're not +1 to hit, but we are
the
rerolling
going
So 5
second with the
hits,
bloodletter
wounding
bombs
on
is so
2s.
inconsistent, especially against armies that can screen well. And unfortunately, I think we may just have been in a toxic group for a Magnus-based like deep strike list, because it's a bunch of aircraft and it's a bunch of infiltrators. And those are not things that bloodletters can interact with. So even if, despite the fact we have these 40 bloodletters on the table, given that there's no real way to kill them effectively, Valdor is just gonna, he's gonna start the victory lap with the Fire Raptor. The infiltrators are gonna take point on the army, and these bloodletters aren't even gonna be allowed to charge when they come in out of deep strike. So just brutal going second into this Fire Raptor list. I think it would have been an interesting game going first, but going second, the map roll was not conducive to Dutz's style of play.
These intercessors will pile in.
Mm-hmm.
And will make their attacks.
While Valdor finishes out his last couple shots here, we're just going to do a check-in on our main table. It looks like currently Adeptus Mechanicus also performing the victory lap maneuver. I think they're mostly just going to be trying to see how many points Tyranids can squeak out of the game. They've given Mechanicus all of their possible points, which I think is probably what's going to happen. We're going to engage every turn with the aircraft. We have 2 Iron Strider units that are unlikely to die for 10 while we stand points. And they're probably going to have the hold on primary throughout the entire game. This is an unfortunate situation where the new bottom of 5 scoring rules do not really apply, given that the Alpha Strike from the Mechanicus is so incredibly powerful that going second, scoring additional points on round 5 doesn't really matter if your army, or at least the mobile parts of your army, probably doesn't survive that long. Really difficult, especially if you don't have some of, like the most efficient shooting in the entire game to be able to deal with all of these attacks, because the Adeptus Mechanicus airplanes are very, very inexpensively costed, I guess. They're very efficiently costed for their points. And then it's backed up by the Iron Striders, which are also very solid and can put out a lot of long-range shooting. So really tough list, and it looks like Chris is probably going to take this win and qualify for the elimination stage. We'll see how his last game goes and how the rest of the pod or the group works out. But I think we'll probably be seeing Chris in the eliminations. What in Admech isn't efficient? I don't know. Probably like Rangers. Rangers aren't very efficient, I guess. These little guys, they're okay, I guess, maybe. I'm sure there's some garbage in there. Sakaran Rust Stalkers? I don't think they're very efficient, right? Servitors with heavy weapons. We figured it out. If you just take a whole army of X-101s, you know? Yeah, I mean, I think the elimination stage metagame is going to be really interesting, especially if the players sort of continue to play on these with these sort of wild card, 6 flyer lists, for example. Given that death cards will be legal for the elimination stage, so we can, I don't know, play a bunch of Blightlord Terminators with full rerolls to wound. Those guys will kill some Archaeopters, and they don't really care about Iron Striders. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how a list like this performs in the elimination stage of the game. Punchy Castellan robots, probably not that efficient. Yeah, I guess the Castellan Flamer variety doesn't really get into range too often. Finals, Mortarion versus Mortarion. Let's be honest, chat. Everyone would enjoy seeing an all Death Guard Mortarion versus Mortarion finals, just because we haven't seen it yet, right? Like we don't know what's going to happen. The elimination stage is going to be wild. Yeah, I'm excited. So, yeah, interesting potential mix-ups here. I think a lot of the players in Group 2 were expecting Tyranid Ben to, at least to get out of this group. Now, he has 2 more games to play, so he may be coming out, but talking to some people, they believed he was the favorite out of Group 2. But this is a bop for sure. And I'm not sure that there's a Tyranid list that exists that deals with the 6 aircraft efficiently. You can kill 1 or 2 with Smashing Hive Tyrants and with flying models and good guns, but maybe some smites. But unfortunately, you can't. It's tough to kill 6. Although we saw Raze deal with them fairly effectively in the Necron versus Admech game. He was able to kill, I think, all 6 pretty quickly, but Silent King sure helps with that. He just downs 1.5 a turn, just about. We don't know how many sisters are moving to the next stage, chat. Of the 2 sisters players, we aren't confirmed that any of them are in there. Ashley is 1-0 currently, but she could get knocked out in group 1. But we've only played 1 game so far, so we're not sure. All right, we'll move back to our other aircraft victory lap table.
Okay. Man, I don't know what I want to do here.
Dude's considering his options.
I mean, you could Tzeentch's Firestorm. I got a billion units next to each other.
Yeah, I think my only hope here is killing the Fire Raptor, which is a huge hope. Let's not be wrong. And then the Devastators whiff everything next turn.
They have done that in the past, and they don't get reroll 1s next turn unless I spend a CP. So
let's do this.
Yeah, it's gonna be real tough to kill off the Fire Raptor with just what Dudes has left.
We need 12 inches.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it is astronomically.
The Fire Raptor has no defensive buffs whatsoever. It's just hard to hit.
I think it is important to keep your head in the game and take the 2%er or whatever that you get back in this game.
There you go.
If we can get these bloodletters in effectively, we might have an avenue to victory. But unfortunately, there's so much bloodletter killing firepower in the backline here. This Redemptor Dreadnought will clean out like 10 of them pretty consistently,
I got
probably
denies
more.
from this guy, but,
And
I put
the Vanguard
booster
veterans will kill most of the unit by themselves as well.
You can just go outside the booster point.
So we may just be in a situation where this is not a very good matchup, in which Magnus also then went second.
I can deny with any Iron Hands model, but it's 2 CP and it's 50-50.
Okay.
So, if there was like some, I guess if you had a Tzeentch, when you cast Tzeentch's Firestorm, I might try it. I don't know.
Yeah, the rubrics getting wasted so quickly was
It's
pretty
2 CP for a
miserable.
50-50 shot at negating power.
Those guys.
I was planning on
22 heavy
using it
bolter
on,
shots.
warp time.
Still does a number on them, but killing
If you had gone
13 was a little bit over average.
Oops. Let's move these guys over here. We go 5 inches on 6.
They're slow boys, they're dusty boys.
Yeah, I think it's
that's
Champ
good.
pointing out the second Bloodletter Bomb might be a little bit too extreme, especially in the group that Dudes ended up in, and I think that might be true. I wonder if he was expecting... I mean, I think they're kind of a write-off versus Admech. You have to be able to knock out the planes and the Cerberus Raiders before they get to do anything, but I wonder if he was expecting Valdor to audible into Dark Angels, which is Valdor's main, which is a much more aggressive style of Space Marine, and you get to use those Bloodletters much more
And you're okay with
effectively, much more aggressively. And that's just not how it turned out in this matchup. Against a, you can't really expect your opponent to bring a Fire Raptor, like, especially like we saw before. The Fire Raptor also has the Magnus problem, where if it goes second, a lot of times it just gets downed immediately because it's so difficult to protect it. And
This is your only. How many powers? Is
that's
Yeah, you can cast
but Valdor's just sort of fading that threat.
Deny.
And fortunately for him, it's probably getting him to the elimination stage.
It's off an 8.
I will try to deny. Nope. And we're done with denies.
Yeah, I don't know, Shuma. I think you and I have a little bit of a different perspective
I
on
will
it
spend
because we interact with the players a lot more than they do with each other typically. So I think we have a better handle on where their minds are at for list builds, and I don't think that's information that they readily share with the other members of their group. Valdor has also been playing Fellblades, and
This is the one that.
Astreus, I think he put on the table. He's just been playing all sorts of bizarre lists. He played many practice games with Dark Angels.
So 2.
He has,
This isn't the Fire Raptor.
before lists went live, he's been playing a whole swath of bizarre Space Marine stuff.
This guy can't do anything. So Armon will smite now.
Okay.
Super.
Yep.
Good Super Smite going to the Fire Raptor, only for 2 wounds
Hold
though.
on.
That's
I'll
unfortunate.
gaze that.
Ooh, big reroll. Yeah! 6 mortal wounds on the Fire Raptor.
I'll grab these 6 dice right here.
Is this an Armor of Contempt, or are we just taking the 6
It
ups?
takes 5.
Yeah, we're Armor of Contempting. Still 5 damage through from 1
Oh.
Psychic Power on the Fire Raptor. All right.
Okay, he's gonna do Prescience.
Maybe we got a chip and a chair in the game.
That one goes off. It's gonna go on these rubrics. And then he is gonna warp time. Goes off.
Big warp time as well, probably getting himself to safety. Oh no, he's
Oh,
going in for the
coming
charge.
Gotta do it.
I love it. We're balls to the wall
All right.
from Adeptus Mechanicus here. 5
that's
CP on the
it
table for Valdor, so
psychic.
he has
Wanna cast
plenty
again?
to Overwatch with Optimal Repulsion
No,
Doctrines.
so let's go to shoot.
Yep.
So White Flamers into the Fire Raptor, and I'll spin the 1 for the Mortals.
Yeah, do I want to spend again? It saves me a mortal wound. Nah, go ahead, just roll it.
The Armor of Contempt does trigger when you receive a mortal wound as well, so
Nice.
you could just wait.
little bit
Not a
under,
good flamer
14.
shot though. Oh, boom! Look at that wound
So
roll.
3
3 mortals,
and
7
then
damage.
saves, AP 1.
Alright.
Save
Right.
it?
So I'll do the saves first. AP 1, so we're saving on 4s.
Mhm.
So 2 failed saves and 3 mortals on 6s. Takes all of it. Takes 5.
5 down to 6. We may not even
Okay.
need Ahriman to charge here. Amazing.
The other flamers are going to shoot it as well. Actually, let me do the rubrics first.
Sure.
So they
The
did
swing
move.
back was immense. I love it, chat.
Nobody's in rapid.
That was some hot fire.
And pistol's out. So pistol can't shoot. Okay. So we're looking at 4 bolt guns and 2 soul reapers.
Okay.
So bolt guns.
We're going to watch this shooting phase, chat. We're going to pop back to our
twos,
original
ones.
table. Looks
Oh,
like
are
they're
they
wrapped
hitting on
up, so we'll
twos?
see if we can catch
For
their post-game
presidents.
discussion.
But they're -1 to hit, right? Because
Oh, yeah. Because you're playing. Yep. And then winning on 5.
Ooh. Heavy weapons
And
from the
Soul
Rubric
Reaper.
squad kind of flubbing. Uh-oh.
And you ignore the heavy, right? So you're just back to hitting on 3s now with these guys.
Just 3s.
Yep.
And 5s.
You need a big wound roll here. Oh.
Just 1. AP 3.
So on a 6.
I wonder if we could have
Nope. And
spent
it's
for a
1 damage,
vets
right?
there, maybe?
Oh, didn't feel it.
Oh, and the feel no pain saves.
All right.
Oh, the hot
The
dice
other flamer squad will do it.
are over.
Should be in range barely.
Here we go.
A little bit under.
Mm. Big 5s. Oh,
Ew.
man!
And saves. AP 1.
10th is AP1, so 4
Let's see a
ups.
whiffed save here. And it is a whiffed save. Does the plane go down?
6 ups.
It does!
Do we explode? No.
Incredible. What a turn of shooting out of this.
Revenge for Magnus.
We got
What
revenge,
a
that's all I care
shot
about.
out of the dregs of this Thousand Sons army. The
2
Fire
400-point
Raptor
models
dead.
down.
And we might have a game here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Can I charge? Oh, yeah, we're going.
Let's see if
Arman's
Arman can
going
get
into
into
blue.
these
Okay.
Devastators. Dutes
We're gonna do the full.
is famous for his obscene charge rolls. Mostly out of Deep Strike. Let's see if Warp Time still counts, but we are going to Optimal Repulsion Doctrine with the Devastators.
It's 2 CP to Overwatch on 4s and 1 CP to Overwatch. So yeah, it's 2 strats.
Nope. Still no CP back.
So
Oh, the third eye not coming into play here. All right.
this we can roll all at the same time.
This is gonna be-
6 multi-melt shots and
This is going to be scary.
3 heavy bolter shots.
Mhm.
It's still the Devastator Doctrine, so we are hitting on 4s and we're re-rolling 1s.
Gross.
Okay. So the heavy bolters. Are you T5 or T4?
No, still T4.
Okay, so the heavy bolters are wounding on 3s, and the blues are wounding on 2s.
Stay strong, Armon.
So all of it wounds.
Ooh.
All of it's on your
boy.
invul.
Yeah, so heavy bolter.
One bolter goes through down
I
to
got
3
3 left
wounds,
so
so we
far.
have to make all of these saves
And then
on the
I'll
4 up.
these.
Oh!
CP this one.
Reroll.
No.
Fails
Damage.
it. Armon goes down. The
It
dream
is
is-
D6 plus
May
2
very well be dead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
all
yeah.
of them.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
So... Oh, right, because you only have 3 wounds left, right?
Yeah, because the bolter went there.
All right.
Okay,
I think we
But
maybe we
I'm-
try to charge.
Can't
with the
Overwatch
flames.
anymore, so you can do whatever you want with charges.
yeah, it's fine. No, I'm not gonna make any more charges.
I'm going to go ahead
so
and
that's it
flip
for
back
me?
to our original table here, just to see
I'll
if we can
pass
catch
it
the
over
post
to
game.
you.
Shouldn't be an issue because these flyers again just
Yeah, it's just gross.
kill
And they
everything all
perfectly
over
balance each other, right? Because the Fusiliers have a lot of small arms, and then the Archaeocopters have the big damage, so they're for vehicles with the D6 las cannons. And then you can also do really well against the meta where there's a bunch of armor. You just fly over like a unit of 10 Vanguard veterans and do 5 mortals to them and pick up 2.5 Vanguard veterans, you know.
Yeah.
Super good. So, well, anyway, good luck, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, you too, mate.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
I'll catch you around.
All right, cheers.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Hi, Trevi.
You guys all set? Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, that seemed going second against the airplanes. Tough times.
It's real nasty, yeah. I mean, he did really well. I didn't get to drop like any bombs. I had to fly one off just to kill some Gene Stealers.
Yeah, we were wondering if they, multiple would just go right off the table.
I was debating it, but their shots are so good, they're just clearing up all the chaff
Right.
anyway, and then killing Gene Stealers.
For sure.
Because they got 12 shots each with 4 rerolls, and it's just like, yeah, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So as long as I got one off, I thought I had enough to clear the rest of them.
Yeah,
Because I
makes
just
sense.
didn't want Gene Stealers alive, and then just running down here and just being a nuisance. they wouldn't really kill anything, but it was just they'd just be annoying.
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of them.
Okay, well, Chris, congratulations on your
Thank
second win. So it looks like we'll see how the rest of the group comes out, but it looks like you're one of the favorites to get out of this group. So congratulations on that. And
Thanks very much.
Ben, we're looking forward to your subsequent games. You got a clad back for the Hive Mind here, bud. Oh, we might have lost Ben.
Where's he gone?
I don't know if
Just
they're
run
listening.
away.
That's okay. Well, I'll let you guys go. So
Yeah. All right, Trevi.
yeah, thanks for playing it out, and we'll see you on your next game.
All right. See you later.
Cheers. All right, chat. I'm going to go ahead and pop us back to our original table, and I'm going to see if we can get it on the big screen here so that it's a little bit higher fidelity. So I'll send you back to that table.
I'm gonna stay still. These guys are gonna move up. That. These guys will just spread out to the absolute possible maximum. Actually, I probably don't even need to be over there. Make a little 2-inch triangle here. And then this gonna spread this. They'll advance. They probably need an advance here.
Mhm.
They get 1. So they were here, so they can go 7. So that's probably about as far as they can go.
Yeah, it looks about right.
This Dreadnought is going to move forward. 5, 1, 2, 3. Can we see anything useful? No, not really. In fact, we can't see anything at all. So the Dreadnought's going to advance.
Mm-hmm.
But we need a good advance roll. Come on. Oh, that ought to do it. No, that does not do it. Whatever.
I'm just waiting for the main viewer to load in here, chat, but we can stay on our spectator camera for right now.
Those guys are screening out there. This Tech Marine. This Lieutenant in the back will advance.
Yeah, we can take a time clock look.
Mm-hmm.
4, so he goes,
Oops.
back down to a regular
Wrong
size
button.
one. So
Looks
he
like
goes
we
10.
are still at an hour left on Valdor's clock here. He did take a long
Let's go right there.
turn 1, but I think he needed it to kill Magnus,
we
and you make sure
will-
you operate that first turn effectively because it's the
we'll
most damage
advance
you can
the Tech
possibly do,
Marine,
and if
see
you
where
can
he
cripple your opponent's army at
goes.
that point, then you're good to go.
He goes 9.
Now, interestingly, we only have a screen with assault intercessors on
I want the Tech Marine to
the
get charged.
on the top flank here by objective 2, And that means that there is the potential for Bloodletters to come in that side. They are going to get cleaned up by the Vanguard veterans probably quickly thereafter, but at least we get a charge in. And as we've been discussing in chat, you could just Warp Surge and make a billion invulnerable saves, which might be the plan. I'm surprised that we didn't come in with the Flamers. Maybe they advanced actually to get in range of the aircraft. At least to engage those Devastators Marines, because the Devastators don't hit particularly hard in combat. And opening them to shoot back is awkward. I think we also maybe have the potential to come in towards the edge of the Infiltrator unit on this objective and just try to roll a big charge at a Deep Strike to get into those Devastators. Unless the Infiltrators are making a charge this turn, which it looks like they might be trying to do, but that looks like a long charge. There should be a place somewhere on this side of the table where you can sit within 12 inches of the Devastators and just try to roll that 11 to come in with the unit.
So I guess we will psychic Sure, so we could also smite. You're obviously in range to deny a bunch of times, so that's fine.
I'm going to be moving to the main viewer here. Should look a little bit better.
Let's cast the +1 to hit power.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna probably goes off on an 8.
Sure, deny. Goes off.
Okay, we will give the +1 to hit to the only vehicle that can actually shoot, which is this thing. And +1 to armor save.
Definitely
Move to
goes in
these
the
front
drop.
infiltrators. Actually, you know, it probably goes on the Redemptor, come to think of it. So we'll cast the +1 to armor save power.
Mhm.
Goes off on an 11.
I'm gonna attempt to deny just out of spite. Nope.
We're gonna put it on the Dreadnought. Make sure the Dreadnought stays alive. All right. Shooting phase. We will start with a Stalker since he can only see one thing.
Mhm.
He will shoot the Flamers.
Yep.
He is hitting on 2s and
You
wounding
get
on.
your extra attacks because I'm fly.
No, only aircraft.
Oh, it's aircraft. Okay.
Aircraft only. Yeah. So 6 attacks. 6 hits.
T4.
Yep. So 5 wounds at AP1, which doesn't matter into these guys.
Is it damage 2?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All right. We'll shoot the Blade Guards pistols.
Yeah, Chad, Magnus is
I have no idea.
2 for 2,
2 and
going
these are
second
damage
and getting
1.
killed top of 1. Unfortunately.
Okay. I don't know.
He's
We'll
run
shoot
into
4
2
pistols
ridiculously
into
powerful
the
Alpha Strike
Nurgling.
lists and just run face first into a hail of bullets, essentially, both times.
3.
Unfortunately, these maps were designed
Okay,
before 18 plus wound
Dreadnought
models
can't
became
shoot.
popular.
These
So while
guys
they're
in the back need
they're
to
interesting to
advance,
play with
Librarian, I'm
models
not
that
gonna
benefit
bother
from the
with.
obscuring keyword, as soon as you're 18 plus wounds,
Infiltrator.
it goes down pretty quickly. So
Uh,
we're definitely
let's try to pick up
making
this,
some concessions to that in the season 3 map pool
this pyrocaster
with some
my
obstructions
infiltrators.
that can actually hide.
So they get
large
10
models
shots,
like that.
6
a little bit
auto
on a little bit
wound.
wider
This
variety of
is
maps.
the blue guys.
Yeah, the infiltrators.
Okay. They moved, right?
Yeah, but they're within 12, aren't they? Or are some of them not?
Yeah.
Oh, some of them aren't now.
So 2 can rest.
So it's 4 plus 3 is 7. So 7 shots, hitting on 3, 6 is auto wound.
Mhm.
Oh, and wounding on 4s. 2 wounds, AP1, 1 damage.
I'll CP one of this. Okay, he's alive on 1.
I think the The real
Alright, I'm
heartbreaker
gonna
this
shoot you
game,
with
chat,
drop
was
pod.
Aramon going down to Overwatch from the Devastator
hits.
squad. If Aramon
Is it
had
hit on
survived
first?
and gotten in both these Devastator squads and
I think
started
Yeah,
Is
you're
it
right.
not?
beating him up,
No, for some reason I thought it was a 4.
would have been in an
So,
interesting
I think it's
spot.
only
But
a kill.
unfortunately, he died to a multi-melta,
Hmm.
which is too bad.
Interesting. Maybe I will shoot with this librarian after all. Sure, the librarian will shoot his bolt gun at the pyrocaster.
In fairness, he died to optimal repulsion doctrine
It
Overwatch,
is,
so
I think, just
he
one
died to the
shot.
most effective Overwatch,
didn't
maybe in
advance,
the
right?
game.
No, he barely
But
moved.
Okay.
he died to Overwatch nonetheless.
Hits.
Uh-oh.
Wounds.
Uh-oh.
Come on, librarian.
You
did it.
Okay.
You killed something in shooting. Alright. So now this guy is not screened, right?
Correct. Well, I mean,
He's screened, but if he's the closest unit.
casters, yeah.
Oh, not to that one, interestingly. So is it model to model, or is it unit to unit?
I believe it's model to model.
Okay. Chevy can correct us if it's not model to model.
I think they're all closer to my flamers, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Then blast the shit out of my rubrics, though.
I mean, that's what we're gonna do, I guess. All right, the squad that has fewer options will shoot the red squad. So my red squad is gonna shoot your red squad because these blue guys can get an angle on these guys over here. So my red squad is gonna shoot your red squad. We will start with the. We'll give the heavy bolter the hitting on 2s because. No, we'll give a multi-melta hitting on 2s. Alright, so we'll do the multi-meltas first. We didn't move, so no rerolls because we didn't get in range of this guy or that guy. Where's my lieutenant? Yeah, no rerolls whatsoever. So these are 2s and 3s with the multi-meltas into the red squad. All of those hit, and then wounding on 2s because you're there strength 8. So 5 multi-melta saves.
5 ups. Kill 4.
Thanks for the follows,
and then
everybody.
the
I
heavy
appreciate it.
bolter.
And
I don't
thanks
have
for
a chair
joining
anymore,
and
so this is easier. No
powering
rerolls
through our technical
whatsoever.
difficulties
2
this
hits.
morning. We will
One
be
wound.
live. I want to mention
One more.
in a couple
This is heavy
hours
bolter?
after this game,
it's
probably
8
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so about 7 hours from now. We'll be live with 2 more games of Warhammer 40k. Some interesting matchups. We have
No, that's what I was gonna shoot.
Rex Moyer playing Necrons versus Jonathan playing Harlequins. And Alex Squires returning again versus Kenton playing Sororitas.
They can all see.
This should be an interesting game. Alex,
Oh yeah, they can.
I think he's going to be fighting for his tournament life at 1-1. He's got to get out at 2-1 for a chance to make the elimination stage.
All right.
Kian
they're
has
just
not
gonna
played
shoot
a game
everything
yet,
into
so she is
squad.
all lined up
So, same
to
thing
knock him
again.
down. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting one. 2 of the most powerful factions in the game, piloted by clearly very accomplished commanders, and we'll see what they can do.
So those are hitting on 2.
I'm excited to see Kian's variety of
4 wounds.
Sororitas on the table. Typically a very aggressive play style, which is always fun to watch.
Okay.
Oof. The 5 rubrics knocked out there by the Devastators.
Is there anything
This
else?
is turning into a rout, chat.
I don't.
We'll see how much damage 20 or 40 bloodletters can do, and then I think it'll be out.
Low charge. These squads.
Poor Dutes, man.
To do that.
The inability to win a roll to go first is crippling for a Magnus list. Yikes. But I do want to give Dudes some congratulations for getting to the Invitational play, like piloting a Magnus
Yeah,
list like this.
Oh, how is this
It's not one that is very popular.
Yeah, no.
And it is one that should become more popular and more effective as we move to Season 3. As the Death Guard meta, I think, materializes, so too will Magnus materialize to fight it. With his many smites! There's no better way to kill Mortarion than Mortal Wounds, and Magnus sure has plenty of them to go around. And hopefully dudes can win some rolls to go first next time. But I think dudes will be back in the fight for Season 3, and he will probably be playing some Thousand Suns jank. That's going to be very effective.
Okay. Okay. So let's make some bubbles.
You do score 5 on primaries, right? Because you hold your back objective.
Yes. So I can come
Dudes
here.
deserves all of it for abandoning sisters.
Still hit these dudes.
Brutal. Dudes does. Sisters are his secondary faction. He does do very well with sisters. He wins a lot of his events with sisters, but I don't think he enjoys playing them quite as much. And certainly the games with sisters are less flashy. But we have seen Valdor actually just bop dude's sisters right on the head on stream before in Season 2. And I think that might have put dudes off sisters for a long time. That was unfortunately a very interesting list out of Valdor. He was trying to tech against Harlequins and Sisters, brought double Sikaran Arcuses, and burned a Sisters army directly into the ground with the 2 Sikaran Arcuses. It was a very interesting game. But again, dude's lost the roll to go first on stream, so... Chad, for the most part, it's a bit of a matchup problem. In both of the Jutsu's games so far, he's played against very heavy Alpha Strike lists that have the ability to kill Magnus top of 1. And he lost the roll to go first in both of them. Essentially, I think in these matchups in particular, it's a coin flip. He needs to win the roll to go first, and he's at that point advantaged. But unfortunately, losing both times means that he has a very little chance of winning those matchups.
Okay, so if they go there, that needs to go there.
Yeah, the first game of the day was very similar, chat. Although I think that matchup is more concretely bad for Tyranids, and I think that was one that Ben was considering a write-off. Essentially, he said he was about 0% to lose if he went second, and it was maybe a coin flip if he went first. So he considered himself a 25% to win that game, is what he told me before the game. But he feels much more confident about his other 2 matchups in Group 2. And so I think he's hoping to be able to pilot those to victories, which will put him at 2-1, which is a good spot to
You may be in -1
to get out of the pot to get out of the group. If you are 2-1 and another player goes 3-0, then those 2 players are locked into to getting out.
Basically, I just want these guys to drop bead here. Okay. And I'll just leave the other squad for now.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to come down there. They're going to use their banner. I'll go to my psychic phase.
So
I'll
just
do
one Bloodletter
Fate.
unit coming in this turn.
Goes off on a 10.
Yep.
I guess you could try to deny that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother.
Alright.
So it's one power from here, 2 powers from here, and then 1 power from. Oh no, the sorcerer's dead.
Ooh, we pulled the sorcerer out of the
Go
rubric
ahead.
unit.
Okay, so this dude will smite.
Yikes.
That fails because of the -1, and you'll take D3. Do you want to reroll?
Am I within your -1?
I thought you were.
Where's the lieutenant?
Oh no, you're good on that side. You're fine.
Yeah,
No, you're
I
fine.
can-
So that goes off. But I can
hold on.
deny it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of need this to go through, so I'll use my Gaze of Fate on the 1. Okay, goes off on a 5.
Alright, I will try to deny.
Yep. All right, Infernal Gaze goes off on a 6.
I will try to deny with my second deny. Yep.
Oof. All right. So shooting, these 2 rubrics are going to shoot these Assault Intercessors.
Yep.
With their Soul Reapers. Hitting on 2s, no rerolls. Sorry, hitting on 3s, no rerolls. Hitting on 3s. 3 AP3s.
6s.
What's
And
the
then
second
these are-
deny from?
I gave him the extra Warlord trait. The Iron Hands one that gives him an extra deny.
Gotcha.
Because you know you can do 2 Warlord traits in your Warlord.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I got it. It's just not in his tooltip, so.
I thought it was. I copied
Is it Will of Iron? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is there. It's Will of Iron.
Oh, it's in the body of the tooltip?
Yeah, and if you... Yeah, no, it's in there. It's in both of them. Will of Iron. It's underneath Armor Indomitus. I don't know why I put it under his relic, but... Anyways, it's there. And then this is 6s again.
Yeah, I
'cause
came in
they're
this
1
game late
damage
chat.
trait.
Usually I ask the players to put their relics and stuff in the
Nope,
top of the
so it
tooltip.
kills
Because the
one.
bottom is often wrong. So
Kill this one, so this
I didn't get to
is
do the spiel this time.
And does 1 damage to this guy.
But dude's very conscientiously put all of his psychic powers and stuff in the...
Flamers are going to go into these infiltrators.
in the top.
And I'll spend my CP for the turn on the mortals thing.
Mm-hmm.
Decent 17. Wounding you on 4s. So that may at -1 and then 3 mortals.
Okay, so these are on 4
Chad, if
ups,
somebody
and then
goes
plus
03,
for feel no pains, basically.
there could be 3 2
So
1s. Yeah.
these I save.
At that point, it comes
These
down
I
to
fail,
score.
but then 3 mortals from the 6s, and then 11 feel no pains.
So far, we haven't had that in this season, but it could happen.
No.
7. So it leaves a sergeant and 1 guy on 1 wound.
I think that's Coitons. Alright. And then I've got charges and I will start
Yeah, Race. I mean, I think your final score was just
with
fine.
the flamers into, well,
That was still, even going down,
Yeah,
that
we'll
was
go
still a
Flamers
pretty
and
high
Infiltrators.
scoring loss. So if that's your only loss, then you're looking okay.
5 is not enough.
Especially if Chris wins his
Then it's
third
gonna
game,
be
then
Bloodletters
whoever's
into
2 and 1 will
red.
we'll get in.
I think that's all I can do. I could do Blade Guard, I guess, but yeah, we'll do Blade Guard too. So Blade Guard
Sure.
and red Devastators.
Sure.
So 3, 6, 8, 9, 10 is the charge. Is that enough?
Well, this thing is breachable, so you can go straight through it.
Is it breachable?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Because you get +1 to charge, right? So you move.
I should go 10.
Oh, okay. Well, that's enough
Right, 'cause I rolled a
for.
9. Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
So these guys back just a tad.
Yeah,
Guess
chat,
I gotta
that
stay
that
away
Admech
from
list,
the
I like it because I think
drop
it's
pod, huh?
it's pretty novel. It's an interesting concept for a list that we've never really seen before. A lot of Adeptus Mechanicus lists tend to
Good luck.
rely on the longer range kind of.
Just close enough. Don't worry about it.
A lot of Adeptus Mechanicus lists tend to rely on the sort of the more static gunline pieces, things like Scorpii, potentially, or mostly Scorpii, to be honest. You know, breachers, stuff like that. But putting almost all of your firepower in planes and the Iron Striders is really cool. It gives you so much more board control. It gives you so many more avenues to shoot, and I was really excited to see it on the table. And I mean, that game against Tyranids was a brutalization, but it seems incredibly powerful. And I think not only it seems incredibly powerful, it also looks cool. And it looks kind of fun, to be honest. You know, you get to move these chicken walkers all over the place. You get to put planes all over the place. It's just a wild ride of a list.
Yeah, let me.
But I don't know how I would beat that in real life. I'm gonna be real. Flip the
How's the
table.
size?
Let me just use one of these. I guess that's a little bit
That'll
better. We
work.
can scale this down.
Yeah. Why don't we scale that down?
Are we just gonna
Yeah.
replace the drop pod with the? You could also lock
that's
the
fine.
drop pod, I guess. Okay, we're just gonna replace the drop pod with a disc, I guess. We're proxying right now.
Maybe one more click.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Right, so this
That
guy-
makes our lives a lot easier.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that should become common
So I'll
practice,
have this
chat.
guy
Just base your
gonna
drop
have
pods.
stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna rename this thing to drop pod.
Torrent 3 kill tanks could take the Admech list. Could they?
There we go.
I think they don't do anything and then they die. I think the planes just body block the kill tanks. The kill tanks basically lose any opportunity to leave their deployment zone, and then that's all she wrote.
All right, so basically those guys are going to be fighting over there.
I'm not even sure Shuma's Stompa beats that
Just come
beats
here.
that list. It kills like 3 planes, and then that's it. That's all it
And
does.
We will go ahead and tag this.
It lives in its deployment zone for a while, and all the work points.
Yeah, let me
die,
make
those
them a
zone
different
binaries.
color for clarity. Let's make green.
Oh wait, those are incursors. So let me.
Oh no, they're infiltrators. They're not incursors.
Or infiltrators, yeah. But I don't want to tag them per se.
Okay.
I do want to tag the blue devastators, but I don't want to tag.
Okay,
these guys.
yeah, that's why I changed their color to make that clear.
Thank you.
So you're tagging this guy and you're outside of this guy.
Shuma's Stompa, it does have legendary status among the server.
Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3,
It did
4,
lose to
5,
two
6, 7
exorcists the
dudes
other day.
going into the blade guard,
Mhm.
and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Although in fairness, Shuma's
guys going into the
Shuma's playing Mortarion or Magus and Morty now. He's evolved past the Stompa.
AB3.
So I'll be on my invul no matter what I do. So I'll be
It hasn't won a pod yet. I mean,
Yeah,
in
just
fairness, since Shuma made
So
the
it's
list
15
and
into the blade
Oh,
guard.
actually, here's what I'll do. I'll
now,
put one
but
CP
there's been like a single pod that he could have played in. So,
Okay.
and it did go 2-1 in that pod. It only lost in a ridiculously bad matchup to some. Also, I mean, in fairness,
So, yeah,
Shuma
15
just
because
sort of
the
played poorly in that game.
level
I hope you're in the chat, Shuma. But you gotta cast if the whole combo is based on Visions of the Smoke. You gotta cast
And then
Visions.
they're
Oh,
gonna
do I
ninja
want a
it.
transhuman for my last CP?
But also, it was a terrible matchup.
Because you're strength 5, right?
Yep.
Shuma does just like having bigger models than his opponent. You are not wrong.
Yeah, I think I want to blunt this damage as
That
much
is,
as possible.
the entire
so
reason he
I'll
plays
also
40K.
transhuman.
It's so that he can. I think Shuma's perfect army would be, like, if you could take those remote control robots that they used to have in the 90s, like the little robot that would say things and like shoot Nerf darts out of its chest, and you drove around the house. If you could just put that on the table and drive it around, I think that's all Shuma ever wants out of a game of 40k.
Oh, I do take it though.
Do you? They add storm shields.
Yeah, I was
You're not
saving on 4s.
Yeah, didn't you roll 4? I thought you rolled a 4.
Oh, okay. Oh, right, I was thinking I was rolling a Feel No Pain, but I hadn't even made the armor save yet. Okay, sorry, yeah, I'm fine. Alright, go ahead.
Alright, and then it's going to
Yeah,
be...
we were just discussing in the server the other day. It's interesting to, if you look at the competitive Admech lists that are, doing well right now, almost, outside of Scorpius Disintegrators, I think, almost the entirety of the codex, or of the faction, is based around Psychic Awakening releases. So, the Plains, the Cerberus Raiders, a lot of the stratagems that make Iron Striders work, those are all Psychic Awakening releases. So, very little of the original Adeptus Mechanicus Codex survives. And the reason the faction's so powerful right now is that Psychic Awakening book.
2 dead, 1 guy on 1.
Okay.
So there's 1 guy on 1 and 2 guys on 2.
Or no, 3 and 1 guy on 1, right? So you got...
Yeah, so there's 1 guy on 2 and 1 guy on 1, and I'm saving these on 6s. Yeah, I'm just not gonna bother.
Yeah,
They're dead.
Okay.
That should be down.
All right,
So that's one Devastator squad down
better.
from the Bloodletters. The engaging the Blade Guard is going to be awkward, but we are... I think the Blade Guard are like sort of physically body blocking them from these other models.
Now I
getting
feel
in-
good
in
about having
combat.
advanced my lieutenant because he's affecting my Blade Guard.
But
So
they
you
are
just gotta
engaging
do
the
that.
drone pod, so they're going to be safe from the return fire shooting.
Okay,
Unless,
still staying within inch of these guys.
Hilariously, you desperate breakout
okay.
and roll
I'll
a 1,
fight
so it
back
automatically
with
dies.
My Blade Guard
That's the only way
first.
to
They'll
extricate that
switch
from
in
that.
to beat this guy within a half inch of a half an inch. Oh, that guy can go that way.
Chat, yeah, there is a chess clock. We don't have it on
and then they'll
camera
make
right now
their
because the
attacks.
players have set the
They
game up,
are...
but they both have
I
about
could
an
use
hour
Mercy
left.
as weakness.
Mercy is weakness.
It's not a bad
Mercy
call
is-
at this point. This
Yeah,
is
one.
a pretty dangerous unit. Yeah, sure. We'll use Mercy as weakness.
Okay.
Or we could also give him +1
One
to hit,
CP
is
left
+1 to hit
for
better, +1 to
Iron Hands.
wound.
Debating
What is
on
Mercy again?
where it goes.
6 is wound twice.
Oh, okay.
Let me think.
Ooh.
Swap the clock to me while I think about this.
Sure.
So +1 to hit is going from hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s to hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. +1 to wound.
Probably want
They're-
more hits.
They're
It's going
basically
okay, YouTube
identical
chat. Thanks for joining.
Because
Appreciate
I'm hitting on
everyone,
3s
coming and
I'm
hanging out.
wounding on 3s, right?
We are multi-streaming for
Yes,
people who don't
yeah,
know
but
to
hits-
YouTube and Twitch, so you should see the Twitch chat room in the
No, it's
bottom right.
mathematically identical.
We're live on twitch.tv/tacticaltortoisetv, and it's a fun time over here in Twitch land.
Yeah, you're probably right. So I'll do the Iron Hand strat for +1 to hit, which is called something.
Yeah.
It's called the Gorgon's Rage.
Cool.
It's interesting. The Mercy's weakness does affect both the Devastators and the
Oh wait,
Blade
no,
Guards.
that one's. Oh, I see. Yeah, if I was Emperor's Children, you get.
Right. If you were Emperor's Children, I would get +1 to the wound roll, but it's just +1 to the hit roll. All right.
Thought about
So what?
Maybe I should have.
yeah, no, it's stratagem that no one ever uses. So these guys have 4 attacks each, and the sergeant has an extra.
Mhm.
So that is 16, 17 attacks.
Okay.
Maybe that's 17. No,
Ah, stopped on 17. I thought it was perfect.
17 attacks. So hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s.
All right, big
Mhm.
Blade Guard swing.
Nah,
And Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Roll ones, I think. So it looks like it's from this Redemptor Dreadnought.
So 14 saves on your anvil.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
All right, I lose 12 guys.
Oh, that was a terrible
8.
roll. Can these Marines extricate themselves?
9,
Looks
10,
like we may just
11,
pull the
12.
Devastators out of melee. Oh, no, that's
9,
bad.
10, 11.
Okay. These Devastators will pile in. This guy's just gonna go over here. I assume you don't have any other fighting, right?
No.
It's on my clock, which is good.
Fine, Simu. Interested in the Youngblood series, but you're
so
24?
these
Yeah, there's no
guys
age
get-
restriction on Youngbloods.
I gotta roll the start.
It's we just ask that you are newer to the game. The Youngbloods events are run sort of intermittently depending on demand, so we don't have one running currently. But if you go, if you join us in the Discord, !Discord in the chat, we'll get you the link. If you join us over there, people are playing casual games all the time, pickup games constantly, and which is a good way to learn quickly, let me tell you. And we'll do announcements anytime a special event like that launches.
4 more.
Well, I'll go through. Man, I made, let's see, 15. I failed 15 out of 17 5-ups.
That
It did happen.
is... Well, on average, you would pass 5? No, 6. On average, you would pass 6, and instead you passed 2.
Yep.
I think that's it for the fight phase, so it's just morale, and then you can...
So my morale is, in case I roll a 1 here. I do not, so I fail. At this point, it doesn't matter who I pull.
Yeah, because you'll be down to
Yeah.
regular cohesion,
Yep.
and then 1s and 2s.
And I got 5 guys left.
Oh.
All right, nobody else runs.
They're fine. Alright.
All right, that's it for me. Pass it over to you.
So can we do anything useful? We will give the Dreadnought the reroll 1s to hit aura again. Do I get a CP back?
You took 5 on round, right? Yeah.
We score 50. Oh, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that was really bad for the Bloodletters.
Still
I think
worried about
maybe
one
engaging the
more
Blade Guard
unit
veterans was a
of
mistake.
Bloodletters.
I think you just go everything into the Devastators and try to wipe them, and then touch the drop pod. You can physically body block the Blade Guard from getting back in, but they do so much damage. I mean, especially if you roll terribly on your invulnerable saves, and they also roll pretty well. But I don't really see the need for them to be to get engaged, to be honest.
We will go up here with these guys.
Might have been a slight mistake from dudes that'll probably end up costing him kind of whatever chance he had left. Although he's got 20 more Bloodletters to come
If
in.
you move some guys like here-ish, and then these guys move here, I'll just concede.
Okay.
I'll just make it easy.
Alright. So those guys are going to move there. This lieutenant is going to come up here.
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if that was a high-risk play, because the Blade Guard, they couldn't move forward because they were going to... The Bloodletters were going to stand right in front of them. And they also weren't attacked, so they didn't take any damage.
Dreadnought moves up here to get an angle on something. Probably an angle on...
Then they have to charge you during your turn. During their turn,
I think
excuse
these
me.
guys are just definitely dead. The Dreadnought's
And
provided
you,
good offense for everyone.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Everything else will stay where it is. And, yeah.
Well, these guys...
Oh yeah, these guys should go charge something.
Or just move
they
up.
should- Oh, that's right, because they're infiltrators, so they can
Yeah.
screen out the charge. So they can just go.
Yeah, there you go.
They can just advance technically,
And then, yeah, there's no way I get in here.
because they're not going to charge anything now. They get 3
Yeah.
extra inches, and then you can only come in
Unfortunately, I think the downside of Bloodletters is
They can't charge.
they're really
All right,
terrible
so
defensive
for
stat line.
scoring,
Just
you
toughness through with a
get
5-up in ball, not good.
I think I'll get another turn.
5,
Not good. So they
yeah, that's
fall apart as soon as they come on the table.
and you
They're
probably
good for
don't
the
get
alpha and to
the
just
other
temporarily
ones.
put obstacle
And
on
then I will
objective, but they don't
get
really survive.
You should max.
all the primaries. I get a 0, a 0. Oh no, I had 2 the first round, 2 the second round.
You should have had 3 last round.
And then, so yeah, so it's 2-2 and then 3-3-3, right? 2-2,
I think so, yeah.
3-3-3.
So
So 9 is that gives me to 13.
Looks like we're gonna talk it out here, which is totally
And-
fair.
You get grind, just
I
kill one
think-
thing at a turn.
I can grind every turn if I'm careful.
Yeah, just kill one.
You
thing
have
at a
enough
turn.
units to do that.
Yep.
And then I score
Oh.
4 points a turn on Vital Ground, which maxes it.
Cool.
This has not been. This is. Magnus
rough
has had a hard road. His tournament. it's not.
We're gonna review it until this codex comes out. I think.
Tzeentch is playing a joke on him or something, or I don't know. Magnus has had a hard life in general.
Season?
Didn't his back get broken by somebody at some point?
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember.
These
Yeah, I think
gels-
it was 6 Iron Strider Ballastarii with las cannons.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
I think that's what did it.
his back was totally obliterated.
Yeah. You could say his back in this game was devastated.
Yes.
See, the
multiple.
problem, Trevi, is you.
was-
I
it
don't know
was-
when. I don't know if or when you started streaming this game, but like that was clearly the kiss of death because that meant that Dutes was gonna go second.
That's
instead of
true.
going
That's
first.
true. Yeah. Yeah. We were in
Yeah,
like during deployment. I think we were watching the
Yeah.
beginnings of it. So that was a mistake. I guess I should have held off.
Although
Given
they,
Magnus a chance.
did get revenge for the and killed the plane on the first
Killed the
turn.
fire after. That's all
Yes.
I care about.
Yeah.
Unfortunate about Ahriman, but what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I had to just
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, I mean this is also the plan because like if they charge the plane or a Devastator squad, you spend 3 CP for the 4-up shooting and you cross your fingers.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was my plan if Magnus came in. If you
Yeah,
went first,
I think
because like I don't think you could charge the plane. Actually, I think it was too far away. I imagine you charge all my characters.
What is it? Warp time in the bank.
yeah. If I went first, he
Yeah.
would have come up here to try to kill the dreadnought.
Right. He comes here and then he goes. He started here, so he comes basically 32. So yeah,
Yeah.
he comes onto this side.
Dump all the targets into the blade guard and then smash this dude.
Yep.
That
That
and I
sounds
think
about
it was
right.
actually. I was just gonna have the Rubiks just like run up and just charge the stalker and just.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't deploy Magnus and here instead of here.
Yeah.
Because like you
I-
can
I
still
would've-
get almost as far as you need to. Like you can still get to here.
Yeah, the problem is I kind of had to see where your drops were, and at that point I had the changeling over here,
That's true.
so I kind of end up being tied to this changeling,
Oh yeah, well,
Oh, being out of range of.
I
them,
mean,
probably.
yeah,
better
because
than-
like if you think about it, the thing is, what I realized with this map is you can't deep strike in front of the building because it's too close to the deployment zone.
yeah,
So the only place that the drop pod can go is over here. And so once you know that, then it's just like, okay, we'll measure from here and then 24. And if you're past this point right here, you can't be shot by multi-maltas.
yeah.
You can be shot by the plane, but like the plane is only 4 las cannons, right? Like I guess what
Well, I mean, the plane kills Magnus. Like without buffs, the plane kills Magnus, like on like less than average dice.
Oh really? I actually didn't dice it out, but I guess
Yeah.
I believe you.
Well, because you spent like what? You spend like one.
You give it
CP
+1 to hit, and then you spend mercy as weakness to give it +1 to wound effectively, and then you just
Yeah,
unload everything. That was the like if the Devastators don't pick up Magnus, the plane just focus fires him.
yeah,
But because the plane didn't need to do that, the plane shot other stuff, and then even after you took out the
Yeah.
plane, you didn't have enough left.
Yeah, the rubrics. Yeah. I should have tucked them in a little bit harder. I thought you. I mean, I guess if I did though, you would have just moved to like here and shot them.
I wouldn't have been able to get as many. Oh, with the plane, you mean?
Yeah, with the plane.
Uh,
Because you had movement to like come up here and shoot them.
yeah. I mean,
kinda-
it forces the plane to be more exposed, but well, the other issue is that the plane, you can't overhang the edge of the board. So like the
Yeah.
closest it can really get is like touching this thing right here.
But you can go like here, right? You just have your
Where?
nose like hanging over the wall, like you
Oh, it's the collider. That's
can, like here or something.
um.
And then you got like free reign to shoot all this.
That's true, but then it can't get +1 to hit because the librarian would be out of range.
Don't you have a strat for that though?
No.
I feel like you did. Maybe not. I must be. Maybe something else.
The Gorgon's
can-
Rage
You
is
can
in the
do
fight
reroll
phase.
hit models, I guess.
You can give it full rerolls. Yeah, you can give it full rerolls for I think it's 2 CP,
Yeah,
which is probably worth it if you're not +1 to hit. I don't know, but if you had tucked in I think if you had tucked in them, I just wouldn't have shot them. I don't know what would have happened. Because I would have had to choose between going here and going here, but knowing me, I would choose to go here in an effort to try and keep it safe, and they might have lived then if they had been tucked in further. Because yeah, it's this line. It's whatever this guy touches this, and then it's the line from the tip of his wing this way that they need to be behind. It's like that line, like that.
Yeah, I probably could have easily done that. Well, live and learn, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you can root for Ash to crush Alex in her game, and Ash may crush me as well. Like
that'll be a fun game to watch for sure.
Any questions from the chat? Assuming we're actually being streamed.
Yeah, you guys are on right now. I don't think much from the chat. Mostly talking about the first game. The tenor
what
of
happened, by
which
the way?
was very similar to this one. The planes went
Yeah.
first, and Ride of the Valkyries played as they triumphantly circled the table, shooting a bunch of Tyranids to death.
Yikes.
Planes are pretty good, I guess, is what we're learning today.
Yeah, well, they're good if you go first.
They're good if
right?
you go first. Yeah. So we should watch 2 hardcore Alpha Strike lists ruin the roll to go first in a row. So exciting time, an exciting day of Warhammer 40k was streamed.
Hey, at least it doesn't drag on, right?
It's true. It's not too long. Yeah, you guys were pretty good on the clock. So congratulations on that. You had like a whole hour and a bit left.
I was under 30 minutes on both my first and second turn.
Yeah.
That's progress.
And that's an important first turn to take, right? Because like if your first turn goes well in this matchup, like that's it. You could,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
could
first
almost
2
call
turns
it.
for me are because even if I reserve the Fire Raptor or
Yeah.
the Fire Raptor flies off the board, it's always going to be turns 1 and 2 that are important for me.
Right.
And turns 3, 4, 5 are always just like grinding points as needed.
Yeah.
Deployment is turn 1 in this game, in this type of match.
Turn 0 is huge. Yeah, deployment is everything, which is why I was like being super slow and precise because it wasn't on the clock. And then you're messaging me being like, "You're taking forever to deploy. Let's speed it up."
Yes. Yes.
So I may have been
I did
fast on the
message
rest of it, but I was very slow on deployment.
Yes.
So I think I took like easily a half an hour.
Yeah. So in the rules, I do reserve the right to start people's clocks if deployment takes longer than 20 minutes. So look out.
Fair enough.
Look out next time. I'll get you.
Well, I don't need to win my next. I think. Well, depending on what happens with Ash, but I think if Ash wins,
If Ash 3-0s and Alex 2-1s and you 2-1, then it's down to points, right?
the tiebreak.
Hmm.
Ash 3-0s and Alex
Is that
2
possible?
1s.
It's 5.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
So if Ash loses, Ash
if
would
Ash
lose.
2-1s.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone else has to 2-1, and then it's a question. Basically.
Right. There's a very small chance that I don't, but I did get 98 points this game, so
Yeah,
That's pretty
so-
good. That's a good start.
reasonably confident on my tie breaks.
So I think you're looking okay.
I gotta start practicing for the Death Guard meta.
Yes.
Post.
Are you gonna start practicing your Death Guard? Huh?
No. we maybe bring. I tell you what though, I promise to bring some spice. All right.
Okay. I'm excited.
There will be a spicy list.
I'm excited
for the elimination stage.
Yeah.
That is novel in some way.
Oh,
I
good.
promise.
It'll just be Magnus. You'll be like, you know what?
No.
If you can beat them, also join them. So there you go.
Yeah.
We did have a couple questions. In you guys' opinion, is there a reason that we're seeing lists that rely on turn 1 right now? I guess specifically Valdar for you with the Fire Raptor, and then we also saw the Adeptus Mechanicus doing pretty well going first.
I mean, I can tell you my answer. It's because you need a way. In my opinion, Sisters are probably the strongest army now. I think, anyways, and you need a way to get to their units before they shoot you. Because as soon as the Retributors shoot you or the Repentia charge you, they're going to trade up.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have something that can hit them before they hit you. And there aren't a lot of things that can do that. But planes are definitely one of them. So that's my thinking anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's more of a it's not so much that the list is relying on going first. It's that it's taking models that are very fast and hard hitting, and those are just benefited by going first.
Yes, because like for instance, I mean, we may see this when I play Ashe later. You know, if Ashe goes first, she probably moves all her rhinos forward, pops smoke, screens as much as possible. But she doesn't shoot the Fire Raptor the first turn because it's probably too far away.
Mm-hmm.
So it still gives me an opportunity to try to punch those super dangerous units to death before they get a chance to fire.
Yeah, and you're on
basically you can deploy the Fire Raptor all the way in the back.
Yep.
And then come in and punch what you want.
Yep.
And if they don't give you targets in the first turn, you can also, which you can do with any plane, you can just fly off the board and then come back on turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if they screen perfectly for the plane on the first turn and you can't shoot anything, you can fly off the board and then come in wherever you want on turn 2 and not spend any CP for it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think another thing is I think Games Workshop in general is really trying to move away from a lot of those first strike combos. Like if you look at a lot of the, like if you look at the S tier and like a few selections from the A tier, one thing they all have in common is they don't have 9th edition codexes yet.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
You're gonna be, yeah. I think once the codexes start coming out a little bit more, you're gonna see a lot of that, like those Alpha Strike type combos going off. You're gonna see those a lot less.
I personally expect to see stratagems that let you redeploy after the roll to go first has been decided. I think that those effects will be fewer and fewer as new codexes come out. They'll let you redeploy at the end of deployment, but they won't let you do it after the roll to go first, because part of what gives you the big Alpha Strike is that ability.
Yeah,
I mean, that's sort of what gives the rubrics their Alpha Strike, right? Because they forward deploy, and then if they lose, they duplicity back.
Yeah,
you can do the same. The equivalent strat exists in Space Marines, where you can redeploy Phobos units back with Lord of Deceit, except that has been changed to be before the roll to go first. And I think that going forward, the other strats will also be moved. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Cult of Duplicity changed to be at the end of deployment before the roll to go first, which would suck for Cult of Duplicity, but like...
I think they might even just move that Warlord trait to like a different cult or something, because it fits like some of the other cults. But yeah, like those type of effects I think are going to be harder to take and or nerfed.
I guess I would also have one other thought, at least I can speak from the Space Marine perspective, is that most of the non-line of sight shooting has increased in points fairly substantially. which then says, okay, well, if I don't have that as an option or an efficient option, what's the next best thing? And then it's like, oh, a plane, right? So, you know.
Yeah, plane's basically like indirect fire with extra steps.
Right.
Yeah. For sure. Looks like there were a couple other questions. Question for Dude specifically: why didn't you reserve Magnus?
That's a great question. So I was talking with Valdor early on in the game about this. Basically, in this matchup, it's totally doable. And if this was just like a regular old pod game or something, I probably would have done that. But just the position I'm in the tournament after taking that big L on the first game, I knew I had to absolutely crush this one to be in the standings. So just kind of a judgment call there. I just decided to go hard for that first turn. And yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you just take the coin flip.
Yeah,
right. Sometimes you roll the dice, and sometimes they come up snake eyes.
Yeah.
This list, I know there's probably not a lot of people in chat who believe me right now, but this list does actually do pretty well going second against certain armies. It's just that, you know, you can make a choice to really turn it on that first turn, and that's what I did in this game.
Yep. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Shandorus in chat asking, dudes, in hindsight being 2020, do you think there is a list that you should have brought instead of this one?
I had a few ideas floating around in my head. One of them was like a super artillery heavy guard list. Which I'm still not 100% sold on, just because Guard have some good options to move up the middle of the board and take objectives, but they're all based around deep strike, in my opinion. I don't really like the Chimera lists. And because I knew I was going to have Sisters and Admech in my group, I just wasn't confident. Like, I knew I wasn't going to take the center with Guard. So that's why I decided against that. But maybe that would have done a little bit better. Who knows? And then I was also thinking about taking the triple keepers with Emperor's Children. And the reason I decided against that was because Sisters just do so well into keepers. I just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, for sure. So it's really, it sounds like Sisters is the big boogie woman, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that
I mean, there were of the lists in our pod, right? Admech is strong, but I think both Dutes and I are probably more worried about Sisters than Admech. I think Ash is probably the strongest player in our group.
Yeah, with the Thousand Suns list, I think I'm actually slightly better into Sisters, just because I can more easily avoid that Alpha Strike. But I mean, Ash is an amazing player, so like that, you know, I don't feel confident. I didn't feel confident about any of the matchups.
Right. Yeah. It turns out everyone who made the Invitational is pretty good.
Yeah,
for sure. I know we talked about it a little bit, but could you talk about, assuming either you went first or Magnus had survived the Alpha Strike, what was the plan? What was the follow-up plan there for him?
So if I survived, like if I went second but survived?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the same thing as what I did. I dropped the Fire Raptor. At that point, Magnus can hang back, because all I need him to do then is just keep getting healed.
Yeah.
He just hangs back and maybe throws out a 24-inch smite or two, and just hangs back and gets healed. And I just keep doing that until, like, maybe my turn 3 onwards, and then he's back up the table just being an absolute terror.
Yep.
Right, because Magnus does Magnus. If you just, I mean, he doesn't have a gun, but he shoots mind bullets, right? Like he does a lot of damage from range, so you can just wait till the right time and then go in.
Yeah, I mean, if depending on how you think about it, like the mortal wounds end up looking like 5 or 6 last cannons. I mean, he's basically like he's just a monster with the mortal wounds. And there's, you know, if I take the fire after off the table, I mean, I can outrange the Redemptor and then basically just throw all the targeted smites into the Devastators, and I'm in a great position.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And given how much damage you did that Fire Raptor, if we could recreate that magic again, I think that's ideal. That was the Flamer shooting into that was pretty exciting to watch.
Those were some hot, some hot flames coming out of those flamers.
Yeah,
hot fire.
Yeah, I know. During that turn, Valtor, you mentioned you're like, all right, I'm expecting like 9 or so damage out of the flamers, and they're like, no. we'll show you.
I computed that was the average, but
yeah.
like clearly they can spike, and they definitely did.
It was even weirder because they rolled under average on both for the number of shots, and then just like went nuts on the wounds.
In hindsight, do you think you would have Armor of Contempted against the Mortal Wound strat, Valtor?
I mean, yeah, because only one of them gets the mortal wounds.
Yeah.
And they did maybe 6. Yeah. So, no, I think it's like the number of times that they both roll high enough to kill you, and the feel no pain on 5 versus 6. Because you got to remember, I have a 6-up feel no pain always, right? So the Armor of Contempt isn't as big of an increase for my vehicles as it is for others.
For sure.
I think the section where, you know, the overlap of those 2 circles is so small that I don't think it's worth it. It just sometimes you get unlucky, right? Like it's just
fair enough.
It happens.
Yeah.
if it lives on 1, you blow your CP into it, so it operates on top profile, and it like blasts the crap out of the army.
And
again,
you had plenty of CP remaining at that point, right?
Right. Yeah.
Had you rerolled an armor save at that point when it went down? Because I think
that's a good question.
Because you failed exactly 6 armor saves when it had 6 wounds left, and I was wondering if we were going to see a CP reroll there. And we didn't.
That was probably an error on my part. I probably should have.
Not that it like really changes the.
Wouldn't have mattered.
The game. Yeah.
Nope, would have failed anyways.
All right, there you go. And I guess going back to dudes, in hindsight, after that fight phase went so poorly with the bloodletters coming in, do you think that charging the blade guard was a mistake, and maybe it would have been better to just physically body block them in this corner, and then, you know, still touch the drop pod and kill the Devastators instead?
I mean, maybe. I think, like, honestly, like, I had to cut basically a big enough swath so the second bloodletter bomb could come through. Really, like, I didn't really need them to do a whole lot. It's just to exist there.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, I could have not touched blade guard. But they would have done the same thing to me on Valdor's turn.
They would have charged you, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you basically just get to kill more Devastators, right? Essentially, is what changes, I think, in that arithmetic.
Yeah, where it all went south was the Flamers not killing the Infiltrators, which was, you know, a big ask in the first place. But, you know, you kind of got to go for those big plays when you're in the corner.
For sure. Well, cool, guys. I think that's all of the questions from chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, congratulations on the win, Valdor. Thanks, both of you, for playing. And I'm excited to see you in your next games.
Ash, you're so excited to see Ash crush both of us, potentially?
Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Valdor, I know we have you on Thursday, and Dudes, you are on Sunday?
Yeah, I got a bit of a break for this next one.
Yep. Well, I'm excited to have both of you back on the stream. So thanks for playing, and thanks for the breakdown.
Yeah, thanks for the stream, Trevi. And Valdor, well played, man.
Yeah, great game, dudes. Sorry, Magnus is Have
Yeah,
Oh, no,
dudes, you need a
40K.
special. You need to make a special dice for rolling go first. It's just all sixes.
I know.
You
I need
got to
to
bring the
pick my-
dice chalice back. Come on.
Oh, you're right. Well, that's because I'm not.
Yeah.
That's
can
what
you
you need.
Can you miracle a 6 in there?
I need to start saving him for my next games.
Right.
It's in a special bag and be like, oh yeah, I've got my miracle dice with me.
Yeah. One more question in chat. Valador, where do you get your Iron Hands models? I think that there's a.
Oh, yes.
I think I have the file for the Blade Guard and stuff. There's a specific one for that.
There's a special Iron Hands workshop
Yeah.
It's like
file.
It's like third
I will
company or
if
something.
people did they ask on YouTube or Discord
On
or sorry Twitch. I will post the link to the workshop file in the Twitch chat.
Okay. Cool. There you go. Boom. Done. They're asking you to post in Discord. There.
Post in Discord.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
I think I also have it too, chat, so I can also post it. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, Jerry.
Cheers.
Later, guys.
All right, chat. That is going to be it for us today. No, it's not. That's going to be it for us right now. We are going to be back in about 6 hours with 2 more games. Like we said before, that's going to be Harlequins versus Necrons. Adeptus Mechanicus versus Sororitas from groups 2 and 4. Those are going to be some exciting games. So exactly the same groups, essentially. We're just we're keeping rolling with these same groups today. So stay tuned. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, U.S. Eastern time. So about 6 hours from now, and same place. You can watch those. So we'll see you later. Thanks everyone for watching. I want to give a big thanks to our sponsors again. We don't have them on the screen this time, but Discount Games Inc. for super inexpensive Warhammer stuff. GameMat.eu for cool mats and terrain, and 3D6 Wargaming for all sorts of really sweet objective markers and point trackers and all the sorts of gaming accessories that really help out making your games quick and easy. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy, and should we raid someone? Where's our raid? Oh, I don't have my thing open. Poops. There we go. See if anybody's live to be raided. Warhammer channel. Let's go hang out with the Warhammer channel. All right. See you later, everybody. Just kidding. I can't raid. All right. We're done. All right. I'm just going to turn it off. See ya, everybody.